back to my channel. Happy Valentine's Day for those of you who are celebrating. Today I'm doing the Valentine's Day book tag. In this tag there's a series of bookish questions and personal questions. The first question is, what's your favorite basic romance plot? My favorite basic romance plot is enemies to lovers. I also like angsty romances too. Those are my two favorite tropes in romance. Some books that remind me of this trope: Bully by Penelope Douglas. I also enjoy the Thoughtless series by S.C. Stevens. The Thoughtless series is really angsty. I think this is one of the first angsty romances I read, so I definitely love that one. The second question is, what is your favorite classic romance? I don't read a lot of classics, but one classic I did read in high school and I loved was Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This book takes place in the 1800s in Victorian England, and it follows the relationship between Catherine Earnshaw and Heathcliff. There's also a love triangle in this book because Catherine Earnshaw and Heathcliff used to be childhood friends, but as they grow older, they grow apart, and the relationship between them is very angsty, and Catherine and Heathcliff aren't really on good terms, especially because Catherine ends up marrying somebody else. I really love this classic book. It's one of my favorite classics of all time. This book kind of reminded me of an old version of Dawson and Joey from Dawson's Creek, so that's why I immediately connected with this book when I read it in high school. If you're not really into classics or are hesitant about reading classics, if you like romance and really like an angsty back and forth relationship, this is definitely the classic for you to read. Not only is the romance at the center of it, but there's also issues with social class and just different family dynamics, given how certain characters in this book are raised. What's your favorite feel-good romance? Since I read a lot of romances, there are so many answers for this question, but the two off the top of my head are The Friend Zone by Kristen Callahan. This book is a friends to lovers story where the guy is named Gray Grayson, and he falls in love with the daughter of the person who's going to be his sports agent. The two main characters in this book have a really strong, solid friendship, and the relationship between them is slow burning, and they don't really want to get into a relationship because they're afraid it would wreck this great friendship they have going, but I just loved Gray Grayson as a character. He is such a good boyfriend, and he's so sweet to Ivy. I really liked the relationship between them in this book. The next book I have for a feel-good romance is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is the first book in the Off-Campus series, and this is a new adult romance series. This series follows 4 college hockey players who are roommates and friends, and each book in this series follows a different couple. You see appearances by different characters throughout all the books. This book follows the relationship between Garrett Graham and Hannah Wells. Garrett Graham is the big man on campus, and he's the most popular person out of everyone in the friend group. He's the captain of the hockey team. He's popular, and the girls at the university love him. Garrett's not really doing well in a class, and he needs a tutor. So he comes across Hannah Wells, who offers to tutor him in a philosophy class, I think. And from there, these two characters become friends, but they soon develop feelings for each other. I just love the good, sweet romance that developed between Garrett and Hannah so naturally and so slow in this book. This is definitely a really good feel-good romance, if you're in the mood for one. What's your favorite sad romance? I usually don't read a lot of sad romances, but one that I could definitely think of off the top of my head would be Full Tilt by Emma Scott. This is the first book in a new adult romance duet, and this book follows the relationship between a guy named Jonas and a girl named Casey. I've talked about this book a few times on my channel. Casey is a rock star in an upcoming band, and her life is filled with partying because this band is coming on fame quite quickly, and her life has gotten out of control. Casey comes across Jonas, and Jonas is her limo driver, and from there, the two strike up a friendship. The thing is, Jonas is running out of time. He has a heart condition. So this book explores what if you meet the one for you at the end of your life. what that sort of relationship looks like. This book is such a sweet romance. It develops quite naturally from beginning to end. And I love the fact that Jonas and Casey are friends first. Jonas is just a really caring guy who cares a lot about the people in his life. It was just really emotional reading this book because you know the end is coming and things might not end up well for Jonas. If you want a romance that's deeply emotional and will tear your heart out but also put it back together, I strongly suggest Full Tilt. It's one of my favorite romances. What is your favorite genre to add romance to? I would usually read anything with romance in it. It doesn't really matter to me. What's your least favorite romance of all time? My least favorite romance is Up in Flames by Abby Glines. I've mentioned this book quite a few times on my channel, but it's one of the books in Abby Glines' Rosemary Beach series. I gave this book 2 stars when I read it. I didn't like the romance in this book. I didn't find it believable. This book follows the relationship between Nan and a guy named Copeland. Nan is the bad girl, or the bitch, in this series. She's the character in the series who not a lot of the other characters like and have a beef with. Going into this book, I was expecting to understand a little bit more about Nan and hopefully find some redemption to her as a character, but unfortunately I didn't get that with this book. There's not really a deep connection between Nan and Copeland. The relationship they have is purely a sexual one, and it doesn't really go much deeper than that. I also found that there was insta-love in this book, since there's not really any development in their relationship, other than they have sex, and I didn't really get the redemption arc that I was hoping for Nan in this book, given the rest of the books in this series. Who's your favorite literary couple? I've read a lot of romance in the past, so it's really impossible for me to answer this question, since I like so many couples from the romances I read. The next question is, if you could have one significant other from a book, who would you choose? I would choose Lauren Hale from the Addicted series. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I love the Addicted series. My favorite couple in the series is Lily and Lo. If I needed to choose a significant other, I would definitely choose Lauren Hale. I feel that Lauren Hale and I would have some things in common because we each have struggles that we're dealing with in our life, and I feel that we would understand each other in that way. Another reason why I would like him as a significant other is because he's such a romantic guy at heart once you get past his tough exterior. He's such a romantic guy with Lily, and I'm a romantic at heart, so I think we would complement each other. Now on to the personal questions in this tag. Do you have a special someone this Valentine's Day? The answer is no, I'm single. Favorite Valentine's Day candy? I don't eat a lot of candy per se, but I do love chocolate. One of my favorite chocolates around Valentine's Day is the Lindor chocolates that they make in heart shapes around Valentine's Day. I always love a box of those, so hopefully I'll be eating them this Valentine's Day. Do you wear red, pink, or white on Valentine's Day? I don't necessarily wear a specific color on Valentine's Day, but my favorite color associated with Valentine's Day is red. Favorite romance movie? Now, I don't watch a lot of romance movies often. I'm more of an action movie girl, but I do like some romance movies, such as You've Got Mail, The Wedding Planner, A Walk to Remember, and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I like those movies. Favorite love song? I don't listen to a lot of love songs often, but a couple of my favorites are Wanted by Hunter Hayes and Belong by Carey Brothers, because it reminds me of Damon and Elena from The Vampire Diaries, and I think it describes Damon as a character perfectly. What's your favorite thing about Valentine's Day? I don't think I have a favorite thing about Valentine's Day, but I just automatically make sure that I read some romance in February every year. What's your least favorite thing about Valentine's Day? I don't know if I have a least favorite thing about Valentine's Day. One thing I do know about Valentine's Day is that you don't have to be in a relationship to enjoy it. You can have the love of your family or the love of your friends around you on Valentine's Day, and you don't necessarily need to be in a relationship or be a couple with someone in order to enjoy Valentine's Day. I don't really like the stigma of that. You can enjoy Valentine's Day even if you're single. What are you doing this Valentine's Day? It's just another normal day for me. you, to be honest. Like I said, maybe I'll read some romance. Or I could be going out for dinner with my parents this Valentine's Day. Those are all the questions for this tag. Let me know down in the comments what you're doing this Valentine's Day. If you want to see more videos from me, I'll put some videos up on the screen in case you guys want to check those out. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.